Hello and welcome to another edition of ArgoBeat, produced by the Barbados Government Information Service. In this episode, we are featuring the school's gardening and recipe competition, which is a part of the Ministry of Agriculture's Grow Well, Eat Well, Live Well, right here in BIM campaign. The GEL campaign, as it's also called, is designed to encourage Barbadians to grow more crops, eat healthier food, and live better in general. We spoke with Winnell Savory and Eric Lewis, who played a big part in the school's competition.
The Grow Well, Eat Well, Live Well, right here in BIM campaign is an initiative from the Ministry of Agriculture. It's right now a campaign where we are trying to encourage Barbadians to grow more food at home, eat what we grow, and it's all part of the food security campaign. We understand that we are importing a lot of food. We spend over $600 million a year importing food, and a lot of this food can be grown right here at home. A lot of the agribusiness and a lot of processed foods that we import as well, a lot of it can be done here in Barbados. So we want to try to encourage people from young age, from very young, tender age, into adulthood to grow some food at home, do some planting, some backyard, home gardening, whatever you call it.
The actual campaign is going to be spread across a 3-year period where we look at all aspects of food security. So we look at agriculture, nutrition, and how to encourage persons to adopt healthier lifestyles. And each year we follow a particular theme. So in our first year, our focus was trying to promote the adoption of more sustainable agricultural practices. Within the school, we wanted to introduce children to see how they can utilize their own resources to get involved in agriculture and hope that they would gain some sort of love for it.
The first component of the competition started with the Grow Well phase, which focused on growing crops. In the second phase, schools were invited to enter the competition and get their students to create meals from what was grown, hence, Grow Well, Eat Well.
Over 30 schools completed the program. Each school, they were requested to grow at least 3 different crops within their garden. How we linked it to nutrition, or how we're hoping to encourage the adoption of healthier eating practices, is where the competition actually allows the schools to utilize the crops that they've grown to create different dishes. So in that category, they were then required to utilize 2 of the crops which they grow, either to create a beverage, a salad, or a snack.
A GIS team visited 2 of the winning schools, All Saints Primary and the St. George Secondary School. We spoke to the students about their experience in the Grow Well, Eat Well school's gardening and recipe competition.
My name is Walker. I attend the St. George School. I like agriculture because it brings a lot of money. It grows good stuff that you could, and the stuff that we import here, we could grow in Barbados.
My name is Ruben Wilshire. I'm the head boy of St. George Secondary, and I'm involved in the agriculture program here. I've loved agriculture since I was small. I was doing it for quite a long time. When my next door neighbor, she would wake up early in the morning and I would jump up hearing the pigs squealing, so I would go out there and help her in the morning. So after that, I just fell in love with it, and I'm still doing it up to this day.
My name is Mishak Grant, and I go to St. George Secondary School.
Why do you like agriculture?
It was always a thing that I like with plants and the animals and things, so I just keep to it.
Okay. And what about you?
My name is Kashan Chu. I go to school at St. George Secondary School, and I like agriculture because I like planting.
I come up from a little boy working on a farm and a little more in the planting, so I just tell myself keep at it and do what I gotta do.
Because I used to deal with animals and things when I was younger, and fish and things, so I just keep with it.
When I'm in the fifth for a farm, I get agriculture, so when I started doing agriculture, I started like it. We started dealing with the plants and things first. They grown, how the farm keep growing, everything, so I did like it. It was real nice. Then we started dealing with the animals and things. So all together, I started like it.
The competition helped the students to master their agricultural skills inside and outside the classroom. Many plan to continue working in this field.
I learned a lot of stuff, how to handle the tools, and how to use the equipment.
And do you think that will help you after you leave school?
Yeah, I want to attend skill training or Pilé and get a job attachment and start working from there. I would like to own my own business.
from the program, I'm using the same things that we did at home because I want to start something going at home to start my own business with my dad.
I plan to do agriculture because it'd be good for the country, getting more products, and you have to depend on nobody else.
I plan to work in agriculture after school because agriculture is good money.
The Grow Well, Eat Well Schools Gardening Competition had 3 categories: open field, cultivation under protected structures, and container. Each focused on a different method of gardening. St. George Secondary School won all 3 categories of the competition.
We didn't expect to come first in all 3 categories, and when we heard that news, we were really excited that all the work that we put in actually paid off in the end.
I feel proud because all of us work together and work hard together to win it.
We don't do good in sports, like running, football, anything so. We agriculture, we just win all the time. No one can beat us.
Congrats to St. George Secondary on a job well done. At the junior level, All Saints Primary won in the container gardening category and placed 3rd in open field. They shared the title of Most Creative Garden with Boscobel Primary School. In the recipe component of the Grow Well, Eat Well competition, All Saints Primary also won the salad and snack categories.
At All Saints Primary School, we love gardening.
I garden at my father's plantation, sometimes at home.
I always assist my grandmother when she always plants her seeds.
I got involved in the gardening project because I like to have an outdoor activity. I got involved in the gardening and recipe competition because I wanted to do more. I wanted to be healthy instead of eating junk food all the time.
I like to garden and it's fun. When you are bored, you can just go and ask the teacher to go in the garden and water the plants.
When I grow older, I want to be a zoologist.
And how does gardening help you with that?
Well, when I garden, it teaches me the other different animals, bugs that live in the mud and soil and how they help the plants. It opens my mind to other things, otherwise academics.
The competition aims to expose students to all types of gardening techniques.
The open field component, that's kind of like a traditional gardening, whether it be within your kitchen gardening, and so we had that as a category. In terms of the container gardening, we want to try to encourage children to be as innovative as possible. So children were able to use normal containers. There were quite a number of schools who found ways to reuse some things that we were seen as waste. Some persons actually utilized old toilet bowls or shoes or bottles or things to create their gardening, so it gave way to them to express themselves in a creative way. And in terms of cultivation under protected structures, the Ministry of Agriculture, we're trying to push smart agriculture or the use of new innovative techniques. So protected agriculture, that's anything where you have some sort of coverage to protect against natural elements. So a number of schools have greenhouses, or they're looking to develop some sort of shade houses or row cover that give way to protected agriculture.
The 2 types of gardeners we did was the container garden and the open field garden.
So what is the container gardening all about?
The container gardening is all about recycling containers so that you can put your plants in instead of just using normal pots.
I like the container garden because it preserves more space, and it also, you have to be more technical with the plants.
In addition to students working in the garden and the kitchen, the teachers were encouraged to find ways to incorporate elements of the competition into the regular teaching curriculum.
some of the schools, they have so many different programs going on. So one of the challenges we found was trying to integrate the competition so that it doesn't put additional work on the schools, but it's a way in which they can utilize the competition to teach different elements of the current curriculum.
How you compare the grains of the beet sugar as opposed to our Barbadian cane sugar? Yes, very good, very good. Yes.
The sugar that comes from the cane in Barbados is brown.
Gregston Vaughn, a teacher at the All Saints Primary School, spoke about how his school was able to effectively achieve this.
In mathematics, for example, skills of measuring the heights of plants, weighing vegetables, sorting seedlings, problem solving with numbers, fractions, angles, money, perimeter, and area can all be engaged in the form of practical work in the garden. Similarly, for composition writing, topics such as my life as a spinach vine or how to make a healthy salad encapsulate the domains of descriptive and expository writing, respectively. Only recent, while planning a vocabulary lesson with a colleague, did I realize that so many homophones are found in the garden. For example, thyme, T-H-Y-M-E, a flavoring herb, and time, the hours we spend working in the garden. Then we get beet, B-E-E-T, the vegetable, and B-E-A-T. And of course, when we sell our produce, we make our profit, P-R-O-F-I-T, and there's the homophone P-R-O-P-H-E-T. As to other words like rose and so on.
Mr. Vaughn believes the program gets parents involved in school activity, and naturally, teacher-parent relations benefit the children.
Persistent teamwork has helped us to achieve the ultimate goals of creating positive attitudes, encouraging critical thinking, and providing meaningful lifelong learning experiences for these children. This program has proven that parental involvement is a key component to a school's success, and I believe the parents deserve a round of applause as well. I am sure my colleagues agree with me that for this reason, parents should always be encouraged to be an integral part of the learning and development process of their children, both inside and outside of the classroom. We should never underestimate the value of their intellect, their expertise and effort, which each member of a committed team brings into the planning and process of executing a garden project.
He also thinks that these kinds of activities help deviant or restless children to focus on something positive.
My observation during the past year also drives me to share the fact that gardening activities help to control the deviant behavior of some of our children, particularly the mischievous boys, because it allows them to use their energies wisely and to occupy their minds constructively.
The Ministry of Agriculture has confirmed it will continue the Grow Well, Eat Well, Live Well campaign in schools.
I am happy to report that the results have been very encouraging. The ministry acknowledges the commitment demonstrated by teachers, the eagerness to learn shown by students, and the support given by parents during this exercise. The ministry is also heartened by the fact that many teachers were able to utilize the competition as a teaching tool in delivering aspects of the school curriculum. This is clearly a critical step in the effort to garner renewed interest in the local agricultural sector. In this regard, the ministry will be expanding the GEL initiative, particularly among those schools that do not presently have an agricultural program. The ministry will also offer technical support to aid these schools in establishing their agriculture projects and will seek to equip teachers and parents with the necessary skills required to maintain the program.
Grow well, eat well, live well, right here in Bim. Yes! Grow well, eat well, live well, right here in Bim.
No, we don't have to buy all imported stock, cause high nutrition in the food that we got. Plant something, start your own crop, grow something local to put in your pot. It's true, more healthy with the fresh produce, with high nutritional value.